Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Tasmania's Chamber of Commerce and Industry is calling for action to improve protections for local businesses and consumers on digital platforms in the wake of the recent cyber attacks. The group is backing a number of new measures and recommendations which have been put forward by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. They include implementing stronger requirements to combat scams and fake reviews to ensure the safety of users online. A $400,000 damage bill has been left after a unit was deliberately lit in Rokeby early this morning. Crews arrived to the Joseph Street building fully engulfed shortly after 4:30. Thankfully, no one was home at the time of the blaze.
It's always a concern to police when there's deliberately lit fire, whether it's a structure fire like this one or a fire in bushland. Particularly with the structure fires, it's a destruction of property. It's another home that a family now doesn't have.
Investigations are continuing into who's responsible for the arson attack, with police urging anyone who witnessed suspicious activity in the area to come forward. Labor is slamming the government, questioning its capacity to fill a number of child health and parenting service vacancies, particularly in the state's northwest and east coast. Shadow Health Minister Anita Dow says parents are being asked to use telehealth services for important health checks, which are critical for identifying developmental delays.
I just don't think you get the full access to, obviously it's going to be hearing and vision checks, and that needs to be face to face. It's just unacceptable that it's over telehealth.
Our kinder development check is in decline from 2014, where it was at 74.1%, to now, which is 61.5%. We're seeing declines in particular in language development and gross motor skills.
The state government has hit back, saying the kinder development check data is not accurately comparable to information dating back to 2014. Also saying the Liberal Party continues to undertake recruitment processes to fill vacancies in the sector. Tasmania's hero volunteers have been thrown in the deep end to better equip themselves in the face of an emergency. Taking on extreme simulated accidents, the trauma training is designed to improve quality of care while delivering world-class life-saving skills.
Under pressure to deliver, our first responders act without hesitation.
There's a lot of blood there. I'm really worried about him. Is he going to be okay?
While it's not the real situation, these hands-on scenarios are giving Tasmania's rescue volunteers the confidence they need to confront critical care.
1, 2, 3. Volunteers are the backbone of first responders. They're often put in positions where they come across a trauma and they have to get involved to improve the outcome of their fellow community members.
CareFlight is behind the free program which looks to fill gaps and build resilience in regional areas battling limited health resources.
That provides better outcomes for patients in those situations when there might be a little bit of a wait for ambulance or medical staff to arrive.
With the first people to arrive on scene of a serious incident, often our local heroes.
Living in the far south, there is a long delay in getting first aid to a lot of people down there, and I just thought, yep, that's something I want to do. I want to help the community.
The immediate minutes following an accident can mean the difference between life and death for the patient, which makes this training incredibly vital for volunteers.
Just having a line of action can help so much for you to be able to control what's going on and know what to do next.
The ultimate goal, to execute a plan to ensure recovery is possible.
And if it has helped somebody or changed someone's life, great. That's all you ask for. So.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
Hundreds of species have been counted in one of Tasmania's most iconic forests. It's all part of the Bob Brown Foundation's 8th annual Takanya BioBlitz. The event is designed to bring together scientists and community members to highlight the importance of ecosystems which need urgent protection. Participants have flocked from all corners of the state to undertake the environmental work, which is no easy feat, surveying across hundreds of kilometres. The Northern Midlands has hosted its first Relay for Life, with teams embarking on a 12-hour expedition, walking laps around the Longford football ground, raising funds to support people living with cancer.
It's very exciting to have a new event, especially knowing that it's been started by a community member who was supported by Cancer Council Tasmania through her own cancer experience.
We've had over 150 people register and 20 teams, which is fantastic, and the Longford community have already raised over $30,000.
The relay also the backdrop for the Cancer Council's statewide launch of next year's events. Launceston will host Tasmania's first indoor-outdoor relay at the Silverdome. Some of Hobart's most iconic buildings have thrown open their doors to give members of the public a rare insight into their story. In its 10th year, the Open House project aims to celebrate the role each one has played in the city's growth.
If these walls could talk, they would have stories to tell. The Brickworks building on Hobart's Wharf has stood the test of time and was designed by one of the city's key shapers.
An original Henry Hunter design, so really significant architect in the history of Hobart and more broadly Tasmania.
It's one of many across the city welcoming guests inside this weekend as part of Open House.
We're trying to give the public greater insight into architecture and the way the built environment goes together.
Getting them to see behind these buildings that you pass every day but you don't get to actually know what happens inside.
From the Supreme Court complex to the SV May Queen, tens of thousands are exploring Hobart's most historic structures. The volunteers sharing their knowledge and passion for what stands in the city.
I love Open House. I love showing buildings. I have a passion about architecture.
Organisers say by opening the buildings, they're hoping to open people's minds about the city's history and how their architecture came to be.
And people are just delighted or amazed, or they've got a connection with a building.
The public know more about buildings and know more about the way the city's put together and all the different components, and we can make a better informed decision about the future of Hobart.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A Ben Lomond institution is celebrating a major milestone, marking 60 years providing essential care to visitors on the slopes. Ski Patrol volunteers have been manning the mountain since 1962, treating the injured and creating a safe environment for snow enthusiasts.
Saving lives on the slopes. Ben Lomond's Ski Patrol volunteers work in tough conditions to put skier and snowboarder safety first.
It's so rewarding. It's great working with the team, and it's such a close-knit group as well, which is actually really important in the sort of skills that we need to have.
The organisation today celebrating 60 years of service.
It's pretty amazing. I'm pretty lucky. My father was a ski patroller, so I grew up around a lot of the patrol members.
Ben Lomond Ski Patrol is the second oldest ski patrol in Australia. It's pretty historic to get this far, I think.
John Marshall has dedicated 46 years to volunteering on Ben Lomond.
Haven't missed a season. Some of those have been without snow. But we're still up there. We sit on the rocks and watch people on little patches of snow and still pick up the wounded when they're injured and take care of them.
We do preliminary checks and safety checks on the slopes and keep an eye on things through the days.
Playing a crucial role in patient care, treating the injured for at least an hour and a half before paramedics arrive up the mountain.
It's a service that complements emergency services, and they provide a unique and specialised capability to ensure the safety of people who participate in snow sports on Ben Lomond.
A challenging but rewarding role.
Just seeing the smile on people's faces when you fix them up. It's just, it's best thing ever. Go skiing, have fun. Don't injure yourself. But if you do, we can patch you up.
McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
A blistering century from Matthew Wade has helped rescue Tasmania in their Sheffield Shield clash against New South Wales. The Tigers limped to 4 for 56 at lunch before Wade's aggressive batting put Tasmania in prime position heading into day 2.
Sent in on a tough deck, Tasmania started slowly. Tim Ward's stay at the crease was brief, out for 5 to Chris Tremaine. Jake Doran's stint was just as quick.
He's out. He's caught a slip. That's the big one for New South Wales.
Plenty to ponder in the Tigers' dressing room and in the stands as it got worse. Ben McDermott adding 1 to the score before being caught behind. Tremaine was in brutal form. The Tim Painless Tasmania was in all sorts of pain at lunch.
There's a big shout and it's close. He's gone. Right before lunch, the captain departs.
Needing a hero, Matthew Wade and Caleb Jewell came to the rescue.
There's a good-looking drive from Matthew Wade, 3 point for 4. The runs are flowing.
Their counter-attack adding valuable runs to the scoreboard. Jewell made 53 before chopping onto his stumps. Wade, however, kept the momentum up as he passed 50.
That's another glorious drive by Matthew Wade.
As the seas began to calm, Wade began closing in on a century. He reached his 100 in style.
Smashes that for 6. And that brings up his 100. What a way to do it.
Coming in less than 150 balls, it changed the course of the match. Bo Webster and Jared Freeman also provided support. Freeman eventually out for 32. Jackson Bird also pulled out the shots as the Tigers piled on more than 300 runs in a day. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
In the WBBL, the Hurricanes finals chances were boosted after defeating the Strikers for the first time in 7 years. Setting 153 for victory, Nicola Carey and Molly Strano combined to remove the Strikers' opening pair. Laura Vulvard and Talia McGrath then combined to give Hobart a scare before Carey and Strano came back into the attack to remove the dangerous duo.
Oh, brilliant! This time the stumping right inside that wide line.
Disciplined bowling scoring the Hurricanes a 23-run win, a result which sees them remain 5th on the table.
Good evening. Cooler conditions across the state today. Launceston was the top at 21, Hobart 15, 17 in Burnie and 18 in Devonport. Strawn 20, King Island, Smithton, Friendly Beaches and Ooze all reached 19, 17 in Grove and 14 at Lyowini. Extensive low-level cloud covered north of the state today with patchy cloud and clear breaks elsewhere. Further out, areas of low-level cloud are lying over Tasmania, Victoria, New South Wales and southern WA, and a cloud band with embedded thunderstorms extends from the Kimberley into Victoria and into the low over the Western Bight. Tomorrow, a low-pressure centre intensifies over the Bight and slowly approaches the northwest of the state, extending into a warm front throughout the day, while a cold front and trough move across the mainland. Southeasterly winds of 15 to 25 knots in the west, reaching up to 35 knots in the northwest. There's a gale wind warning for the far northwest coast and a strong wind warning for the remainder of the state. And there's a minor flood warning for the Macquarie River, with an initial flood watch also issued for the northwest, north and northeast catchments. Showers increasing in Hobart and Richmond tomorrow, Ooze 17. Rain across the north, Launceston 18, 17 in Devonport and 16 in Deloraine. Rain and 16 in Burnie, Strawn 20, rain and a possible thunderstorm for Curry. Rain across the east, St Helens 17, Swansea 16 and 20 in Whitemark. And tomorrow's UV sits at very high 9s across the state. Statewide showers on Monday, easing in the north and east during the evening with possible thunderstorms in the morning and afternoon. More showers on Tuesday with hail possible across the state. And Wednesday, fine about the northwest with showers elsewhere. 29 in Brisbane tomorrow, showers and a possible storm in Melbourne and Sydney. Alice Springs 37 and sunny in Broome. And right now in Hobart's 14, Launceston 17 and cloudy, and Devonport 15. And Lou, welcome back from holidays. You're looking relaxed and sun-kissed.
Thank you for that, Vic. It was beautiful, although I can say travelling with a toddler is quite different to what we are used to. And that's all your news for now. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Good night.